What's up, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter? How can you turn your Facebook or your Instagram or your YouTube or your Snapchat into a business that pays you every month? I know a kid that's 20 years old, makes $700,000 a month from his social media. I figured out how to make about 40 or 50 million bucks from social media. So I've made a couple pennies from it. I got McKenna here. I got Joe Soto here, one of the social media marketing experts that teaches in my social media marketing agency. Got Zach here. Zach is kissing his fans. So I wanna, and you're behind the scenes here for my podcast. So I'm gonna do my formal introduction. Although we can just use that. We can put a little thing. This is segment 2. We had Dr. Agus on segment 1. All right, here's the deal. If you want to, somebody said, who's the girl with the white t-shirt? There's only one girl in here, so that is McKenna.
That's me. Hello.
That is you. Show them your shirt.
Greetings. Oh, it's a funny shirt. All right, hold on.
Move your hair. She has that. I thought Zach should wear that shirt.
He should. Who
wore it better? Let me take a picture of that.
I don't get it. What's supposed to be? What does that say?
It's just.
Okay, look this way.
Is that some ancient Indian
Yes.
tribal, like,
Absolutely.
symbolic?
It means.
Wait. Turn more towards me.
Okay. Here.
Yeah. Okay.
What does it translate to in English?
Move your hair all the way back.
Press.
Your hair has to be behind you.
All right. Here.
Yeah, like that.
Ooh.
That's good.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. There. I'll get people's.
I got it on
Looks like
the
it's
line.
Homer Simpson's eyes.
That's.
You know, it could be whatever. You know, whatever you see, whatever you perceive.
I see Homer Simpson.
All right, I'll actually do a formal introduction for the podcast. I'm just posting a little poll on my Snapchat.
What's a poll?
What do you think of the t-shirt? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, welcome to the Ty Lopez podcast radio program. Ooh, why'd you do that? Fuck.
There's a phone.
Everything.
We gotta make sure when phone's on.
Yeah,
Play mode.
can you turn that off?
Ty's,
'Cause
hers, Joe's.
I have to have mine on because I need to be able to Google stuff. Okay, let me do this again. All right, it's Ty Lopez. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm talking about how can you turn your social media into a business. I'm also I want to talk about some mindset stuff, millionaire mindset stuff. I'm here with McKenna. Say hello, McKenna.
Hi.
Here with Joe Soto, social media expert.
Hello, everyone.
And here with Zach.
Thank you. Bless you.
And we're live streaming. I want to just start by, right before this podcast started, I was talking about one of the most important principles, and this applies if you want to make money with social media or in anything in your life. You have to become a master of systems. Systems. If you could like imprint one word on your head, it'd be master of, or one phrase, master of systems. And you know, in the world of social media, I know a guy that's 20 years old making $700,000 a month with his social media, his Instagram and YouTube. I've figured out how to make, you know, I probably in the last couple of years, just with social media alone, made 40 or 50 million bucks with social media. So I'm coming from a place where I've done it. I'm not just giving you head knowledge. I'm giving you real life experience on this. It's not just theoretical. There's lots of people making 10 grand a month and 100 grand. So Joe's here, I'm here, Zach's here, McKenna is here, and we're gonna just talk about, McKenna is a personal trainer. She uses social media, obviously, in the fitness arena. Zach is funny and uses social media to be funny. Right? Why'd you laugh at that, Zach?
I don't know. It was just funny. It's like you were saying. You listed her career.
Yeah.
Well, that is your career.
No,
Be
I know.
funny.
It just sounded funny.
He listed your attribute.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question with systems. Why do you need a system? And this is the reason why. Most people, especially this, I'm giving you a secret of the 1% of people who are making a lot of money. When they wake up, the day is not that chaotic. Okay? If your day is chaotic and every day is new and unknown, that sounds great, right? Oh, every day is new. Every day is unknown. Well, obviously every day is somewhat unknown. But if you want to make money, things have to start fitting into a system. A system means it's predictable. When everything's unpredictable in your life, you'll have no brain power left to innovate. And so what's the problem with some of you is you're not practical minded enough. Your head's too much in the stars and you're never just making things simple on yourself. So for me, like if I have to work on the same problem every day, I know I'm doing something wrong. I want to just have one innovative thought in my brain per day, and the rest of the day falls in line. So people ask me, Ty, when should I read? Well, make a system. Test it. Experiment. For example, read the moment you wake up for 5 or 10 minutes. Winston Churchill used to do that. The great, leader in the UK. That's what he did. He had a system. He'd wake up at 9 every morning, and he would literally read a book, and he would answer his letters, and so he had a system. Every day was predictable. When there's no predictability, you're like the wind. You're just getting blown from the left to the right and left to right. So make life easy on yourself. And if you ask me what system is the best, let's say you want to make money with social media. So you go, all right, and there's 3 ways you can make money with social media. Number 1, you can sell other people's products. Number 2, you can create your own products and sell them. And number 3, you can do marketing for other businesses. So the first 2 I want to talk about today, which is how to make money from your own social media. So how much does it cost to create an Instagram? Zach?
Free. It was free for me, but I got in early.
Okay.
Ground floor.
So it's free.
Yeah.
So that's the simplest system in the world, not very complicated. Anybody can do it, and you could repeat it over and over. If you had multiple products, you could have multiple Instagrams very simply. Now, what do you sell? This is a big question. Because I recommend you start by selling other people's products. I just launched an online course, a mini course. It's at tylopez.com/secrets. You should go check it out. It's very powerful. I was just recording the first video for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm giving away, that's why I call it tylopez.com/secrets, giving away my secrets. And if I had to start over and had no money, I could put a system in place where I was making 10 grand a month. It would take me, I think, under 90 days to get there. Now, I got a little more experience with it, but those of you watching, you got a free platform. Instagram is free. YouTube is free. Snapchat is free. Facebook is free. Twitter is free. But you know what? The only people really benefiting is Mark Zuckerberg, because he owns Facebook. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, because they own YouTube. Evan Spiegel, because he owns Snapchat. Twitter's owned by Jack Dorsey and all these guys. They're the main ones making money from social media. So what if you could flip the switch and you start to make money from social media and not just Mark Zuckerberg? But that's what we want to talk about. Someone says, Ty, the girl is a distraction.
Oh, stop.
So we can put it back on Zach and Joe. The ratings go down when I go on Zach.
Yeah, there's no more hearts or smiley faces going across any of the platforms.
Really?
And it went totally silent.
Yeah, it's the number.
There we go. Look,
And it even
Even
Instagram went off. Instagram went offline, Zach.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
connection.
I
man.
frightened Instagram away.
Okay, so Joe, you use social media as basically your business. Joe has 8 kids and raises family and makes a lot of money, and you're doing 7 figures. You're making over $1 million a year.
yeah, and my wife, we're talking about Instagram. She's got a hair bow business, right?
Hair bows?
Hair bows.
Okay.
So she does. She's done over $1 million of sales a year, really since 2014, selling
Wow.
hair bows that
Through Instagram?
through Facebook and Instagram. Those are really the 2 platforms, and it probably should be YouTube. I'm trying to talk her into doing Facebook Live, but just through Facebook ads, and then also a few partner sites that have picked her up to sell her products.
Yeah.
But these weren't her products, meaning she didn't make them.
Yep.
She just found somebody who made them, and then she rebranded it herself on her own website.
Huh.
And we have her mom works for us full time out of our home, and we ship hundreds of hair bows per day.
How
and
much?
headbands.
What's
You
that
know,
average
you wear
head bow?
headbands.
What's that cost? What does somebody pay for a head bow? I know nothing.
hair bow.
Hair bow. I know nothing
so,
about
you
the
know,
hair bow.
you've seen the girls wearing the headbands. So headbands and hair bows for little girls.
Okay.
So she started this business because she was buying hair bows for our daughters, and she was paying an astronomical amount of money for what she felt like she should pay. She's like, I'm not going to pay $20 for a hair bow.
No.
So she found them for like 20 cents, right? Overseas. She found she had to test different distributors. She ended up coming up with some of her own designs, submitted her designs. They would manufacture and make them, and they would ship them over to us, which is how it works.
So it's a drop shipping type business.
It is. However, we drop ship it from our own house.
So you're getting inventory.
Yeah, that way the customer gets it faster.
Right.
I'm not against the drop ship lifestyle.
Right.
But it does take longer for a product to come from like China.
Yeah.
If you're doing it that way. So what we do is we bring all the inventory in our home. She has her mom work full time, pays her a full time salary, so our way of giving back to her mom as well. Her mom does a fantastic job, sends out hundreds of hair bows and headbands per day out of our home.
That's awesome.
And she
Creating money out of nothing.
It's actually
I mean,
where I started my testing of Facebook advertising as early as like 2013. I was trying to figure this out. And when I actually was able to show how that worked in social media, Facebook advertising, then I took it to the businesses that were part of my agency. I actually started with the hair bow business and then went to I actually remember going to the restaurant and saying to them, it works for my wife's hair bow business.
Yeah.
It'll work for your restaurant. And they believed me. They were okay, I think it'll work. And we tested it and it worked. And then it became turnkey for the restaurants, which is how I got the restaurant niche in my agency business, because I had all kinds of businesses like speakers and authors and so forth as clients.
Right.
Many of the authors you've read have been my past clients. But to get in the restaurant niche, it came from Facebook ads.
So Joe, just so you guys know, I told you there's 3 ways you can make money from your social media. One of the ways that you can make money, it's actually number 3, is you can do the social media marketing for authors, for restaurants, for doctors, for dentists, for landscapers, for construction companies, for comedians like Zach, for celebrities, for rock stars, for rappers. Like, there's a huge market for that. And for those of you who want to know more about that, if you go to tylopez.com, my website, there's a social media marketing agency link. So now there's basically 2 different programs that I have if you want access to them. The first one is how to build a social media marketing agency. And Joe is one of the teachers there, teaching how he's making $1 million, over $1 million a year, not even counting his wife's stuff, working from home,
We both work from home.
Working from home, employing the family, 8 kids, living a great life. So that's one. And the newest program that I just launched at tylopez.com/secrets is how in the world can you sell your own products or be an affiliate using Instagram. So I want to take a few questions here because I've seen a ton come in. Somebody asked, what's your wife's sites for hair bows?
It's girlyboutique.com.
Girlyboutique.com.
BOWTIQUE.
Somebody said Mark Wahlberg. They want to hear your Mark Wahlberg impersonation there, Adrian. Best way to market your Instagram and create a strong following. This is Amber Scarberry. Okay, here's the deal. 2 things in my opinion. 1, you don't need a huge following.
No.
On Instagram, 10,000 followers, even 5,000 followers, you can start making. I mean, I've seen people making
my
money.
wife's only at 15,000, which is a lot, but it's not significant, right?
Yeah.
So she's at 15,000 Instagram followers, but she's over 105,000 on Facebook.
Yep.
But she had did $1 million in sales, and we were shipping hundreds of products with 30,000 fans on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
So
you
you're
don't
not-
have to have an astronomical number to be successful in it.
And how do you grow your Instagram? There's really about 3 ways. 1, you can just wait for it to grow, which will take, for most people, to get to 10,000. If you just wait for it to naturally grow, it's going to take you 30 years. So it's not a great way. Number 2, you can do collaborations. And that's where what you see big Instagrammers doing now, like Jake Paul, if you look at people like Summer Rae, they'll do exchanges with other people who have followers. That's a great one, and you can do that on YouTube too. I talk about that in this tylopez.com/secrets, but it's a long conversation on how to do it, how do you get your foot in the door, but it's not as hard as you think. because they want followers too. So you can start with just, if you have 3,000 Instagram followers, you can go to your friend who has 3,000 Instagram followers and said, I'll post for you, you post for me. We'll make a funny video together. We'll make a viral video together. You need to do something good, not just say, oh, post, follow my friend. And no one's going to follow. It's got to be something interesting, okay? So that's the second way. The third way you can do is you can do paid advertising or paid giveaways. And I've done all of these. I've let my, in 2014 or 2013, I had, 1,000 Instagram followers, and now I have 2.4 million Instagram followers. Same with YouTube. In 2014, I had like 100 subscribers. Now I'm like, I'm almost at 1 million. I'm like 9,900,990. Literally. I need 10,000 left. But you don't need that much. Now somebody said paid advertising is expensive. Yeah,
No,
but if you can make your money back. Yeah, now Joe's an expert at Facebook. We were just talking about this restaurant that you were only spending $1,500 a month, and how much sales were you generating for them?
Over $100,000 a week ultimately, but initially it went right to 90.
But how much did you add? They were doing some revenue.
They were doing $77,000 a week.
So you added about $25,000 of revenue per week.
That's $100,000, $1 million per year.
$1 million per year, and you only spent about $20,000 for
Correct,
them.
but let me also address this, because when someone says social media is expensive, or the paid advertising is expensive, they don't get it. Okay, so I don't mean that to be harsh, but let me look at it like this. My wife's business, when she started doing the hair bows and headbands, she got the idea because she had a background in eBay. So she was an eBay power seller, which a power seller I think is somebody who's done $100,000 in sales on eBay and beyond. They become a power seller status. This was back in the day when I first met her. I said, how come I do? Hey, this one's for me, right? She's super ambitious. She's entrepreneurial.
Zach, you need a power seller.
Yeah, go get a fight on eBay.
Bring them on.
Zach's looking for a sugar mama.
Right. So for almost a year straight, we never spent more than 10 or 20 bucks ever in a day. And the average we spent on Facebook advertising for our hair bow business was $5 a day.
Wow.
We ended up getting picked up by some major sites like Jane.com and Zulily and sites like that sell and started selling her products. She actually pulled away from Zulily because of how it just wasn't very good for the business. And but she gets featured every day, for example, almost every day on Jane.com, and they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So that's also a strategy that you can use. If you're reselling another product, you can find deal sites that need products like yours to feature and sell. They just need you. You're the middleman.
Yep.
But here's also the other things you have to think about. What you're looking at customer acquisition, right? What kind of money goes into it. When a restaurant says to me, $1,500 seems like a lot of money, it's because they don't believe that they can make $20,000 extra a week.
Right.
They don't realize, they've never seen it turn into anything for them because they didn't know how to do it well. That's why there's such a market to help other businesses right now.
Yeah. Most people suck at marketing. One of the things, I talked about systems. The other thing, really, just remember this. What is marketing? It is storytelling. And I promise you, this is the most important thing. Somebody said, Joe Soto, hell yeah. And then Max said, Zach is Louis C.K. Not sure what that means. That's a compliment for Zach.
Yeah, if you're talking about wit-wise, bank account-wise, that's a different story.
He's not rich enough for you? Is that what you're saying? You don't want to be compared to him?
No, I'm saying I'd like to be like Louis C.K.
Oh, but you're saying with the wit, you're wittier than Louis C.K.,
No,
but not richer. I get it. Zach's being cocky here.
It's on the record.
No, I didn't say I was wittier than. I was just saying, that is a compliment if we're talking wit.
So how good of a storyteller? Can you lower this just a little bit? Now, question for you. Somebody just asked, what about Kindle publishing or publishing your own book and selling it? Joe, if you wrote a book, what would you do to market it? How would you market it?
I would come on your podcast.
Okay, that's a good one. Would you do Facebook ads?
And here's the thing, don't take that lightly because there's a lot of people that have podcasts out there that are looking for guests.
Yeah.
That, it doesn't have to be Ty Lopez. There's hundreds of people that have maybe a smaller following, but enough that when you do enough of those podcast interviews to market your book, you're getting in front of different audiences with your book topic. So I say it in jest, but I actually mean it. You would identify influencers that have podcasts. They're always looking for guests.
Yeah.
And some of them can't find enough of them. That would be one way I would do it. The other way I would do it is I would build an online funnel to give away that book for free, maybe plus shipping.
Yeah.
And then lead them into something that you're going to sell.
Would you do Facebook ads?
I would do Facebook ads. We have clients that do Facebook ads. We have clients right now that do Facebook ads. The biggest authors in the world, the Brendan Burchards and these people, they're doing Facebook ads and funnels into their book marketing.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah. Yep. Someone said, that girl's just looking into my soul. Why is she so quiet? I'm glad you guys are paying attention.
Oh, I'm letting them talk.
Because she doesn't like what she sees in your soul.
No, this guy is saying he's looking at you and he feels like you're looking in his soul. How do you make a business with YouTube and Twitter? So if you go to tylopez.com/secrets, I've got an in-depth training on this, but I'm going to explain some now. Here's the deal. Vlogging is the future on all platforms. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, obviously Snapchat, Facebook. So 10 years ago, it was blogging. You would write an article, you see people that did blogs. Now, by 2020, by the way, 80 to 90% of all internet use will be people watching videos. So if you don't like to be on the video, you can have somebody else on the video. But it's important that you become a master of vlogging, and that is the beginning of YouTube. So what makes a good blog, or vlog, I should say? Well, somebody said, Ty, your life was easy, Ty, you don't know struggle.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's my worst favorite assumption.
Yeah.
People
I think you
assume
found
that all the time.
your second
Unbelievable.
episode of the hater debate.
Oh man.
Yeah, did you guys hear my hater debate? No, I like reading all these comments. They're fascinating.
Amazing.
It's funny how the brain, it's like comments, which brings up a point about vlogging, by the way. The way to grow YouTube, one way, is doing YouTube Live, which I'm doing right now. People forget YouTube Live is big. There was a YouTube Live, I forget what the YouTube Live, and there was 1 million people watching live. That's bigger than any TV show, basically, any sitcom, anything like that. So I think that it's important that you get in this world view that people want to watch stuff. And it's funny that people like argue with that. I'm just like, what's the biggest TV shows? Think about it. So if you take sports out, okay, because I'm assuming you can't be a pro athlete. Maybe you can. What's the biggest shows? Reality TV. Once reality TV hit this town, Hollywood, what was the first reality show, Zach? Do you know the answer?
I mean, if you wanted people, if they get real historical, they'd go back even further to a PBS
Yeah, there's a
show
PBS
in
one.
the 70s that followed a family.
But what's
I
the
forget what
first
that
one
was.
in kind of modern times?
The Real World on MTV, I think, was the one that it's like 91, something like that.
And then what was some of the other ones?
Survivor
Survivor
was the
Big Brother.
is the one that really made reality TV more of the norm.
Yeah, that became prime time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Survivor, which to me is a little bit, but now you got the Kardashian show.
Oh my god.
Kylie Jenner has her own show. But notice something. Everything now is moving from TV reality shows to Snapchat reality shows. YouTube, look at Jake and Logan Paul. Jake Paul was over here at my house not too long ago.
We just got his book yesterday, my 13-year-old. My 13-year-old had me order that book, true story, and it came yesterday. And he started reading it yesterday. My 13-year-old was reading Jake. And I didn't even know who Jake Paul was. That's sad. But he knew, he's like, oh yeah, he's a social media mega superstar. And I missed him on your show, apparently.
Yeah, one thing about Jake Paul that's interesting is that he was a Disney guy. Him and his brother were Disney.
That's right.
Somebody said, are you a vampire, McKenna? She's a Scorpio.
I'm definitely not a vampire though. I'm not into the whole blood thing.
Sam Kellogg said, Ty, I'm definitely a hater, or I'm honestly a hater, so prove me wrong and tell me how you made your money. Well, I just told you at the beginning of the show, I've done 40 or 50 million just from social media. I own the biggest book club shipping company in the world, Mentor Box. It's a club. Amazon's the biggest book shipping, but besides Amazon, it makes about 50 grand a day now. I own a company that helps with sleep stuff. We're just expanding into mattresses now. I own a wealth management company. We manage about $100 million for people. I own a real estate investing company, nightclubs, been a business consultant. So I've done a couple things in my day to make money. And sometimes people go, it's funny how people want to know like one thing. They're like, Ty, what's the one thing? I don't understand how you made money. And I'm like, I purposely built my life to have multiple flows of income. The average billionaire has the average millionaire has over 3, depending on what study you look at, between 3 and 7 different sources of income. I own an apparel line. In fact, today, if you saw my Snapchat, Charlotte is launching a new line of t-shirts and fitness apparel. So man, you know, my one thing that I'll tell you, and Joe and Zach and McKenna will probably agree with this, people have different personality types. My personality type is a little bit ADD, but you don't want to be too ADD or you'll be broke. Yeah. But I mean, I get bored if I do the same thing for too many years. I have to switch. So what I do now, because I got a little smarter, is I found people who love to do one thing for 10 years in a row. I put them as the CEO of the business. Yeah. I get the business off the ground with MentorBox. Let me just tell you this. This is the people ask me, like, what's your favorite company you've ever launched? Is MentorBox. Let me tell you why. MentorBox doing about between 40 and 50,000 a day in revenue. It's profitable every day too. So there's cost to that. It's not all profit.
Doing some paid ads.
Yeah, we're doing paid ads. It's fascinating. We're now going into corporate sales. It's kind of like the Netflix for books, right? That's what MentorBox is. But Alex, my business partner, I told him on day one, you do all the work, I'll come up with the ideas and the big picture. And he goes, okay, I love that. And I was like, great, I love that you agreed with that. And so I do 1 hour a week and it makes over $1 million a month. And I'm sorry, 1 hour a month. I put in about 12 hours of work, maybe 15 or 20 hours in the last year. And you know, it's doing over $1 to $2 million a month in revenue. That's my favorite business because I got 10 times the result with 10 times less work. And a lot of people that are watching this are getting advice that life is just about grinding it out. And, you know, well, there is truth that you will need to grind. There is truth that you will need to put in hard work. But smart work, where you use your brain, always beats hard work. And so when it comes to social media, for example, how did I figure out how to make money with social media? And you know, Kim Kardashian got on the cover of Forbes. She made $50 million, they said, from social media. And you know, she did that in 1 year. I did it in 2 years. So I'm not as big as Kim Kardashian, but I've done a lot.
You don't have your own emoji yet.
I don't have my own emoji. Well, but let me just, to be fair to myself, Kim started in 2008 and I started in 2015. Nice. So now I'm not the best. I'm not trying to brag. What I'm saying is you should have hope. 2 years it took me. So even if you don't have the same success level as me, it's not hard, in my opinion, for me, if I had to start over, to make $100,000 a year, which is a great living. I mean, to make $8,000 a month from social media is child's play. I had earlier this year, I had Liz on. It wasn't a podcast, but I had her on my Snapchat. She's, I don't know, 30 years old. She was born in Mexico, came to America, and didn't have much money. And now she makes $500,000 a month drop shipping on Amazon. Wow. You know, she drop ships. You know, she drop ships cosmetic stuff. She has quite a few different businesses. So it's huge. It is huge. And the main thing holding you back is not knowing the strategy. And there's a good book. It's the 4 Pillars of Execution. I posted, like, how to do stuff. And you have to realize part of execution is strategy. So some people go, just dive right into it and just launch your business. And I see people doing that with social media. They go, Ty, I'm just going to make money with social media. I'm just going to do whatever. I don't need to read any books. I don't need to take any courses. I don't need to learn from any mentors. And I see them like 5 years later and I'm like, what is wrong with you? You haven't grown at all, you know? So I'm all about growing as quickly as I can that's healthy. You can grow too fast. I've actually had businesses that made too much money too fast and you end up misspending it or you just get lazy, but you want to do it as fast as you can. That's the key. For some of you, it's going to take you 20 years to become a millionaire, if that's a goal of yours. And some of you will never become a millionaire, even if you want to, because most people are dumb. That's
There's a lot to be said about learning your type of routine as well, knowing how you learn. And
so. How do you learn, McKenna?
Well, I know I'm a little bit sporadic, and that's fine. It kind of works for me to go off a whim unless it's with training people, because I'm on a schedule, they're on my schedule, and all that. But with learning, I can be looking into a couple things at a time, and I actually try to do it first thing in the morning, read, write, and meditating, by the way. If you don't meditate, you probably should.
Zach, do you
Organize your
meditate?
Thoughts a little bit.
Do I medicate?
Meditate.
Medicate or meditate?
Oh, meditate.
Meditate.
Yeah. Usually if I'm high, I end up meditating.
Zach never gets
'Cause I
high.
just sit
Zach,
there and drool.
too.
Zach gets drunk.
No, I do meditate. Yeah, I like meditating.
Yeah, organize your brain a little bit.
So Joe, for you, who did you learn from?
You know, it's interesting because some of the people I learned from, I ended up manifesting in my business years later. So one of the first books I ever read was the book, The Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gitomer, because I was trying to hone my sales skills. My uncle told me long ago, I actually just lost this uncle, who gave me some really good advice when I was very young. I was like 20 years old and I had 2 kids already. He said, listen, master sales,
Right.
and you'll never be broke.
Yep.
You'll always figure something out because you know how to sell whatever it is you're selling, whether it's to people. So I started studying sales. So Jeffrey Gitomer, Harvey Mackay, he wrote Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive, along with some other really cool books, were 2 of my favorites. Og Mandino wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, and a lot of other great books. All 3 of them became clients many years later. And
Did you learn from them? Were you able to?
All of them I learned
Yep.
from, and they became my mentors long before I ever met them.
Yep.
Now, when I met them, they became early mentors. So, especially Gitomer and Harvey, early in my agency, had faith to let us take on their businesses and help them. I was the first. I helped Gitomer get on LinkedIn. He was never on LinkedIn, right? He's got tens of thousands of followers on LinkedIn.
Did he take you out to dinner for that?
Yeah, a few times. He actually mentions me in 2 of his books, including the revision of the Sales Bible.
Huh.
And he mentioned that he
So you
hired
turned
me
your
for
mentor
LinkedIn.
into your allies.
I did, but one of the things that came from it was, you know, by seeing how they worked in their business, by seeing how you work in your business, by seeing how
Right.
they worked in their business, they were mentoring me almost indirectly. And Harvey actually gave me, you know, real advice. I ended up joining his mastermind program. This is a $75,000 a year mastermind program.
Okay.
I ended up speaking at the year prior, and then he invited me to the mastermind group next year later.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you have to just have your eyes open to what these mentors are teaching you, even when they're not directly doing it. A good example is looking at how you guys launched the mentor box that you just talked about. If those of you that are subscribers in the mentor box, you've seen over the last few months it's changed. It's improved. It's gotten actually better every single month. I'm a subscriber to it myself. And I've noticed that the materials that are included in the mentor box have changed and gotten better and improved, which shows me that he has a process for it. When it's good enough to launch it. Once you've got the strategy and everything else in place, he launches it without it being completely perfect.
Right.
And then what I saw was there's actually, I'm not sure any people really paid attention to this other than you guys, meaning maybe Alex and his team. But you guys launched it with a glossy colored workbook that you couldn't write in. And I remember grabbing my pen, I couldn't write in the workbook. I'm like, the whole page, every page is glossy. I said, I like that they improved the quality, but I need paper inside to write notes in.
Yep.
And then the next month, it came out with paper and not glossy inside, but glossy outside. You guys kept improving it.
Yep.
Oh, so you guys put listening devices in the mentor boxes?
So we could hear. We eavesdropped.
That's the only way I can see that would have happened.
But my point is, when you launched the mentor box, you didn't do it perfectly.
Right.
And it came in a cardboard brown box the first month, I remember.
Yeah.
In the second month, you had your own glossy color, nice mentor box because you're reinvesting back in the business once that cash flow is coming in. It's just
Which,
smart
by
business.
the way, if you study like Mark Zuckerberg, he says, if you don't launch with errors, you waited too long.
That's such a great quote.
Just think of that. If you don't launch with some errors, your business, your social media business or any business, you waited too long, which means all those perfectionists out there are literally waiting too long. And it is good to be a perfectionist in some things, but it's possible to be too slow. You know, it's literally possible to be too slow. So I'll just give you an example. What if you're a perfectionist and you're not going to launch your version of Netflix until it's the perfect Netflix, until you have shipping, digital downloads like Netflix is now. Well, guess what? They launched, what year did Netflix come out, Zach?
2001?
2001-ish. When they launched it, there was no downloads. They would mail you DVDs. So if you would have waited till the DVD technology came out so you could have a more perfect product, well, guess what? You would have lost the first mover advantage, which is what they call Netflix's advantage now. Facebook has they weren't the very first mover, but they still have what's called a first mover advantage. And once the first mover advantage gets locked in long enough, it is hard to beat. Hard to beat.
Now, I hear a lot of people talk about, and I think most people understand, don't wait till it's perfect.
Yep.
Do it when it's good. But how do you know where that line is? Because some people can go too early. It's still not good enough. How do people figure out that?
Like your jokes sometimes?
Sure. That line of it goes from not quite good enough to launch, but you know what? Now it's good enough to launch. It's not perfect, but
what do you think on that, Joe?
In social media, this is easy to answer. In your business, it might be a little bit more complex. So I'm excited to hear what he says. But for me, when we started our company in 2010, I had owned a sales training company for 10 years prior. And we kind of completely reinvented ourselves. And I'll never forget sitting on my door stoop, or outside my house, and one of my good friends comes over and he looks at me and says, "What are you doing?" Yeah. I said, "What?" He says, "I just saw you in the paper that you just launched a social media company because we got a story done on this." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "It says you're going to be you're going national, and you guys just started last month." I said, "Yes." And he said, "But you're the sales training guy."
Right.
And I said, "Well, now I'm the social media guy." He's like, "Well, who appointed you that?" I said, "I did. I got to figure out how to make more money." I said, "But here's what I figured out. I knew enough that was this much more than the average business owner. Actually, it was quite a bit more about social media than the business owner because I had read and studied and started immersing myself in some of the early strategies that was working with social media. This is back when it didn't have Instagram. It was Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and I taught our sales team, I taught our group that as long as we know more than the average business owner, we're going to be able to help them. And quite honestly, I kind of feel bad for our first 75 clients.
Right.
Maybe first 100.
But did you help them?
We helped them because back then they didn't have paid advertising. So what they wanted back then, what the want was back then, what the need was they wanted an online presence. They wanted a better digital presence.
Yeah.
They felt like if we don't have a good website, a good blog, we did like hundreds of blogs. If we don't have a blog, a website, that was the big thing then. And we don't have a Facebook and Twitter, if we're not on those pages, I'll never forget a client calling me. He says, "How do I get to my Facebook page? Where do I find Facebook?" And I said, "Facebook.com."
Oh my God.
I'll never forget the client calling me. And I'm like, "Man, that's all you gotta know is the URL. All you gotta know is the URL." But so when he called, but that was my clue. But our first 75 clients, we gave them an online presence. It was all about design and graphics and looking good online. That's what it was about back then. It was truly manage your social media. That's a lot different today.
Yeah.
Today, it's a good example was, I was telling you at the break, we brought on a new med spa. And they do, Botox and laser treatment for men and women. They do hair and nail and all this, and massages and all this. So we bring on this med spa, and they have her daughter, the owner. The daughter does all the social media posting for the business. And she does a great job of what we did back in 2010, 11, and 12, which is Facebook management. And so, Instagram management, great looking content, great looking posts, very visual. You can tell she knows what she's doing with video and photos, but has no idea how to get anyone to see any of it.
Right.
So we said, okay, we want to charge you our bottom line fee of $1,500, which takes us about 5 to 10 minutes a day worth of work, by the way.
So $1,500 a month you're charging.
$1,500 a month. That's our bare bottom barrel fee that we'll charge just to advertise the content she's posting. Now we'll help her with more of the content strategy.
Yep.
We're gonna just
plus do they have to pay? They pay the cost of.
Oh yeah. So it's $1,500 plus $1,000 a month for Facebook ads. So it's $2,500 all in every month.
And you'll spend $1,000 for them on Facebook.
Yes.
And this is very, by the way, those of you in my social media marketing program, I talk about different price points. 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Somebody said Snapchat is dead. That is not true. Snapchat, people are idiots. Your Snapchat might be dead. That's what people say. Snapchat ain't dead. Snapchat still has, I think.
It's like saying email's dead.
Yeah, Snapchat has 100 million active users. So I don't know if I'd ever call a business that has 100 million people. That's 1/3 basically of the United States. And that is about, well, it's bigger than most countries.
And didn't
It's
a pretty smart company just offer to pay tens of millions of dollars for them?
billions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook.
I've
I mean,
actually-
Mark
yeah,
Zuckerberg.
50 billion or something.
Yeah. Snapchat has at least 8 years of life. It depends on how innovative Snapchat is. So, let's see. The future business is virtual reality advertising. Maybe. I'll tell you a cool little rule. One of my mentors yesterday sent me an email, Dr. David Buss. It's called the rule of 100s. So it's different pieces of advice where percentages add up to 100. It said spend 70% of your time on stuff that works now, 20% of time on things that you are pretty sure will work, but don't necessarily, you've never done, and spend 10% of your time on stuff that's just crazy, harebrained ideas. So some of you get these ideas, like, I don't know if virtual reality is going to replace social media. That's somebody's theory, but theories are often wrong. If you look in the last 100 years, man, theories are usually wrong. So what I do, spend 70%, that's what I'm saying. People are forgetting right now that Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube can make you rich. You know? So my question is, why aren't you getting rich on what there is right now? And then, of course, you'll have to continually innovate. You're going to have to continually innovate. And when it comes a time when virtual reality replaces Facebook, then you switch. One of my mentors used to say, Ty, don't be the first or the last to do a new idea. Never be the first or the last. Facebook was not the first. Right?
MySpace.
First you had, well, before MySpace you had Facebook, and before Facebook you had chat rooms. Zach used to be on chat rooms. I never did chat rooms. Zach has he used to meet girls in chat rooms.
No, that's not true.
You told me that one girl, the goth girl.
That was kind of.
He met this very unattractive.
No, but
Tell that story, Zach.
no, she might be watching.
No, tell the story. Zach has a great story of meeting a goth girl. You didn't know she was goth. Just tell it.
Yeah.
Start when you drove up.
It was back when I was in school, and so we agreed to meet at Borders Bookstore.
Where did you meet her? Where'd you meet her?
At Borders Bookstore.
No, where'd you meet her online?
It
Was a
like
chat
AOL,
room.
like AOL, yeah, back in AOL days.
So you were on chat
And,
rooms. Thank you.
And, yeah, but I didn't go on there to meet girls. I
Right.
would me and like Randy and other people.
So you go on there to meet men. Okay,
No,
I get it.
No, we would
No
go and
shame
just-
in
it
that.
was like
File sharing
entertainment.
music.
It was entertainment.
No shame in
and
that,
we would-
Zach. No
we would-
shame.
We would like goof around. But anyway, this one particular time,
Flirt and stuff.
I agreed to meet this girl at Borders Bookstore, and when she said, "Oh, I'll sit on the bench out front," and this is before cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, so
Pagers.
So I drive and I pull into the parking lot, and sure enough, there's this girl sitting there by herself on the bench, and she's got thighs in separate zip codes. That's how big she is, and she is dressed in golf, like dark, and like the net hose and all that stuff. So I drive. I
This is
drive
my
by,
favorite part of this story.
and I see it's her.
This is the best part of this story coming up right now.
I see it's her, and I guess she recognizes that it's me because I'm looking at her, kind of confused. And she stands up to like welcome me, and I gun it. And I take off.
Drives faster.
I took off, and she got in her car because I could see I was having to go around the parking lot. She got in her car and started following me and chased me, and I lost her in a
police
like,
chase.
No,
He lost her he was doing
Like in a
360 donuts.
housing neighborhood. And then whenever I got back, I had a message, what happened, whatnot. Oh,
In the chat room?
yeah. And I said, oh, I thought I didn't see you, so I thought maybe we had agreed to the other Borders, and I drove there, and I didn't see you there, so I figured,
Didn't you?
You stood me up, kind of thing.
And
I played dumb.
the funniest thing about that story, the best thing about that story, is that's not even the only time. Tell them about the mobile home girl.
No.
Yes,
No.
Zach, tell me.
I can't do that on the podcast. That takes too long, and it's
But wait,
sad.
wasn't that a girl that was from a chat room too? Because you didn't know what she looked like.
No, I think that was MySpace. Like I got catfished on MySpace.
Basically, Zach ended up in a mobile home. What was that in Charlotte, North Carolina?
It was South Carolina.
It was in South Carolina. He ended up there. He goes to mobile home. They open the door, and
They're in muumuus.
People don't know what moo-moos are.
Google it. Google it.
She's
Google
wearing-
a woman wearing a moo.
It was her and her mom wearing
No,
a
it was her daughter that answers the door. She's all like 5 or 6.
Wait, her 5-year-old answered the door? Okay.
Yeah. And so I walk in, and there's
There's the moo-moos.
well, yeah. So it's like the girl I'd been talking with. Her mom was on the couch. I don't know, watching Maury Povich or something. But she goes, "Oh, you must be so and so's friend," and she said she's just right in the back. So went back there, and sure enough, there was this rather large.
Did she look like the
Woman.
pictures on MySpace?
No. She was
She-
the exact opposit.
Zach,
of the photos.
The mobile home wasn't a clue.
Man, Instagram is
Oh man,
weird.
we talked on the phone one time, and she was telling me about how she witnessed her kid get hit by a truck. I don't think that's true.
Nothing is real.
So the moral of the story is before Facebook, before MySpace, before Friendster, there was Zach
Yeah.
on chat
I
rooms.
got catfish before catfishing was cool.
Before it was called that.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a few questions, and we're going to wrap up here. Evan Rogers said, "Women get with the pool boy anyway."
What?
I think Evan Rogers had a bad experience because he's completely jaded against women. If anybody brings up pool boy, he's angry. Don't mention the word pool.
Or mailmen.
What do I think about drop shipping? Huge opportunities. Huge. What would you say about that, Adrian? Adrian, we have Donald Trump Adrian here.
Drop shipping, it's gonna be huge. Have all your clients do it, okay? Vote
Do
for
it,
me again.
do it in the live. Do it into Zach's microphone.
Billions.
What we're gonna say?
Drop shipping will make you billions and billions and billions.
It's gonna
and
be
billions.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
We had the president of this house pop in, Adrian Trump. Do social media pages have first mover advantage? I mean, you can if you create an Instagram and you want to, let's say, make money by becoming a food blogger or a travel blogger. I have a friend of mine, James, wherever he travels, he contacts the hotel ahead of time. He says, "I got a huge social media following," and by huge, he only has like 10,000 followers. But
Really?
yeah, he got 10,000, which is more than most people. A lot of people have 1,000, or I know people have.
He's probably accustomed to saying something is huge when it's really not.
I'm gonna
That's
tell him.
huge.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
But it's
I'm glad that
bigger
the
than
dog.
most of the customers coming in.
I'm glad that Ondo is doing that right there. While
Snapchat.
Hey guys.
my dog's in the background here, he decided to. Yeah. Anyway, so
He looks tired.
what my friend? So what was I just talking about? You that distracted.
Before Facebook and MySpace, there was chat rooms.
No.
Drop shipping?
Dropshipping is huge.
Oh, I was saying, if you want to become a food blogger or you want to become, my friend does fashion vlogging and he'll just post a video at the hotel. He gets free resorts around the world. It pissed me off because I have like 2 million followers and I never thought of doing that. And I'm like, damn it, if you're getting free nights, I should get a free week,
Yeah.
So, Ty, what company propelled you to the next level? You mean companies that I launched? I mean, it's all been cumulative. A lot of people are looking for this story. Like Mark Cuban was over here and he told me, Ty, one day I woke up and I was a billionaire. The day before I wasn't. And that's a very rare story that you just make a ton of money right away. It's better to make it like you're going upstairs. The first stair is make $100 a month from your social media. The next step, $1,000 a month. The next step, 10,000, and then you can try to get to 100,000 a month. But a lot of you can just stop at 10 grand a month. Ty, you should bring in fashion, food, travel influencers. Yep, we'll be doing that in the course, tylopez.com/secrets. I'll be giving you secrets that I've learned. I've spent over $20 million of my own money testing things on Facebook. You'll be learning my techniques, and you'll also be learning the techniques that other people teach. How long should it take to get to 10, 20, 50,000 followers on Instagram or Facebook?
Depends. Totally depends.
McKenna says depends.
Completely.
The
That's how you
Raul
work
says your
yourself.
friend is cute. What do you say, Joe? To get somebody, if you have a customer who hires you, you make money through method number three, which is manage other people's social media. What if somebody says they want to get to 50,000 followers on Facebook? How hard is that?
First of all, there's very few local businesses that serve a local market that's going to get to that number.
Right.
So it's unrealistic. But I'll give you a great example. So today, I mean, literally just today, I can show you my phone. I got a photo from a client, and they said, these are interesting Facebook stats.
Okay.
They screenshotted that of all the local businesses, this is a restaurant, that are in their area, meaning in their town, okay, that are competitors of their restaurant. They consider to be competitors getting the same guests coming into frequenting their restaurant. They are now surpassed. They're number one at 4,950 fans.
Wow.
Okay. Now that's all it took to get to number one, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Right? All the other restaurants in the town are under that number.
Yep.
So to them, that's a huge success.
And what you do is, once you're that restaurant or your customer that's paying you money, you get them to be 5,000 followers and no one else has that. What you do is you then get put on their website the number one, the most liked
restaurant,
the most liked restaurant in the city.
Yeah.
And that's true.
On social media, that's correct.
5,000. If it's true,
Not only that,
you can say
that
it's
becomes your case study to go sell more clients.
No, but I'm talking about from the restaurant.
Correct.
angle.
For the restaurant.
But from your angle,
Like,
if you're the social media marketer.
Here's a funny story to that, what you just said though. When they first started, I said, this is what I said for Yummy Pig Barbecue, which is in Leesburg, and they are a restaurant.
Yummy Pig, what is it?
Yummy Pig Barbecue.
You know that's in the South, Zach. Who wants to get some Yummy Pig?
I like it.
It was actually, that was actually a company that I took on and negotiated that because they couldn't afford my services.
Yeah.
And it was a company I took on and I negotiated to get a percentage of their business, a fairly large percentage of their business.
Huh.
And I said for 3 months, then I'll run all the Facebook ads and I'll put in all the money.
Yep.
But after 3 months, I know I'll move the needle enough to where you can afford my fee.
Yeah.
You're going to pay me my fee. You're going to pay my monthly fee. I'm going to keep my ownership.
Yeah.
And I want a credit on all the food I eat in the restaurant for my family.
That's a whole nother, there's a whole nother window we can
Hold on. But
yeah.
the day they started, okay, I said, well, here's the first thing I'm going to do. I said, you guys have they call it New American Barbecue. I said, you're a barbecue fusion restaurant. You're better barbecue than other places. I could tell that the chef is the owner. I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to put, 5-star review, the best barbecue in Leesburg.
Yeah.
And she said, well, who says that? I said, we're going to say it. She said, well, no, we haven't been reviewed as that. I said, no, you're going to review it. We're just going to put 5 stars and put the best barbecue, in quotes, in Leesburg, with no name underneath it.
Right.
And that was it. And it became that. It has become that. You're in Virginia. If you ever
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
you come to Leesburg, you got free
You
barbecue.
can also
for
always
and your
just put your name under. You could just put your LLC. You could say, "By Joe Soto says it's the best." I mean, that's what reviews are. A lot of reviews are.
You've got to say it about yourself first, but then yes, like you said, here's my response back was to the text.
Yeah.
They're at 49.50, and I said, by next week you'll be over 5,000. And they
They're all excited.
They're so
You
excited.
got 49.50.
But that's realistic. They'll
Yeah.
probably get about 50 new fans next week.
Yeah.
But to them, that's superior growth compared to what they ever got before. They started at like 1,200 fans. No,
Yeah.
I think it was like 800 fans. And
Yeah.
that was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And she sent back party hats and all that. She's excited. They're genuinely excited. So I don't have to send back and say, I'll get you to 50,000 by January. No,
Right.
It's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. And they don't need that to be excited. What
Yeah.
makes them excited?
You
is
only
what
need
they
10,000. You guys can make money. Make money from your own source. Don't just let Mark Zuckerberg, Evan Spiegel, don't let them make all the money. Kevin Systrom owns Instagram. Ty, using your mentor program, let's see here. Could I turn 400K into 4 million? Well, I've seen it done. I've seen people do a lot more than that, and I've seen people lose 400 grand. It comes down to the quality of execution. RMP said, accredited investor, let's talk Ty. Okay. You can send an email. Send me an email if you could. It went through, so I couldn't see. Duplicate, don't innovate. Yeah, you can duplicate and innovate at the same time. So, do I sell products to make more money? Yeah. What I'm going to keep talking about, this is going to be an ongoing conversation in my podcast and the live calls. I'm going to run because I got to shoot some, I'm doing some other stuff. Somebody said, damn, this guy's social media marketing agency is expanding to my area, Leesburg. Yep. Ty, 16, too young to be listening to this.
No.
Sooner you start, or sooner you get the BS out of the way. So if you could start at 3 years old, you'd be better off than starting at 16. If you could start at 16, it's better than 36, you know. There's an old saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago or today? That's pretty much the right answer. Is there a crash coming, Ty? For sure. Someone said, Ty, what's a cap rate? It's exactly what I told that guy. It's the rate of return on real estate investment. That guy goes, wrong. I did a debate. He goes, what's cap rate? I go, rate of return on real estate. He goes, wrong.
It's the.
Yeah, it's the. If you go to Google and type in what is cap rate, it says the rate of return on real estate. The exact. That was one of my greatest. I now know how to do a debate with somebody. I will ask them a question. Whether they answer it right or wrong, I'll go, wrong. And then some people will actually believe that you got it wrong.
That's what Trump did, remember, in the debate. Wrong.
Did he say that?
Hillary would go over a list of things complaining. Wrong.
Oh.
It would sneak that in a lot.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay. Well, Joe, this was awesome. We're going to have Joe on more often. For those of you who go to tylopez.com/secrets and tylopez.com and you click, there's 2 different programs for social media. One's how to turn your own social media into an income for yourself, into a business. And the other, that's the Secrets website, program. And then you can also learn how to build a social media marketing agency like Joe. I've taught over 25,000 people how to do that in the last 8 months. Go to tylopez.com and you'll see the link to the social media marketing agency at the top. If the program's closed, that means we're waiting for more people to graduate. We kind of have a group, we let them in, and then you snooze, you lose. Then we open it back up so you can go on the wait list. So Joe, what's your Instagram, or what's the best way to find you?
You can find me on Facebook at /Facebook /Joe Soto page. And they can also message me there.
Joe Soto page. Yo,
And
Zach,
Instagram is Joseph Soto.
where can people find you?
You can just do a search for Zach Cookman or Tetris God, and the number 7 is my Tetris God.
Believe it or not, that's a
I love it.
McKenna. What'd you
Yes.
think? This is your first podcast.
It was. It's super informative. I hope all of you guys were paying attention.
McKenna is reading the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell.
Excellent.
Says you can make it once you. Someone said, is she a Leo? No, Scorpio.
Yes, sir.
Jack Stoddard said, Tetris God.
I'm the Leo.
Yeah, we have two. One Leo,
Yeah. I'm
2
on 7.
Leos.
Yeah.
What day are you?
August what?
7th.
I'm July 30.
Oh, you're one of those Leos. You're a July Leo.
Strong.
All right, we're headed out.
Bye.
Bye bye.